Welcome to the Shark Bite Show, where we dive into the stories of our members, coaches, friends, and family of Shark Bite Fitness and Nutrition. All right, let's roll. Today, have the great honor of having Tiffany Willin here on the podcast, right? She's here on the Shark Bite Show. Tiffany has been with us at Shark Bite Cape Coral for unbelievably almost 4 years at this point, right? She's got an awesome job. She's got a cool background. She's got a great story. We're going to dive into it. So, Tiff, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Took a lot of convincing to get you to do this.
It did.
But I'm really glad. Nervous. Really glad I was able to do that. Talk to me. So first off, we'll start off. I feel like I've talked to you quite a bit, and I did not know until the other night that you are like a Southwest Florida local.
Pretty much. I pretty much grew up here most of my life. I was born in Kansas. When I was a kid, my dad played professional soccer, so we moved around a lot. So that's how I was born there. But my parents had a house here, so we always came back here. I went to elementary school, middle school, high school here.
You can't just skip over that. Your dad did what?
Yeah, he played professional soccer when I was a kid. Before I was born till like the early 90s. All around, so like Kansas, LA, Tennessee.
So did you live in other places while he was playing, or did you go straight from Kansas to here?
No, we lived in a few other places. I was a baby. I don't remember any of it.
Yeah.
No.
All right, so you're basically like a Cape Coral local.
Basically, yeah.
That's cool. Well, talk to me about some other stuff. Who are you? Like, what is your background in like health and fitness?
My background in health and fitness is I did gymnastics for most of my life since I was 3. Went to college, did it through college, so probably till I was 23. So that's like my background, why I love it as part of my daily. It's just like a muscle memory. That's the reason I love fitness. So that's how I started. Leaving gymnastics was really hard to find a fitness routine, and everything was always so set for me as a gymnast. So it took me a lot of years to find something that worked for me, coming from an everyday 4 hours a day in the gym to finding something that fit into like an actual lifestyle where you have work and family and friends. Right,
because that was like lifestyle, right?
That was everything life,
gymnastics, yeah.
Right.
So you said 3 years old. Obviously, you didn't choose that.
No.
Who wanted you to be in gymnastics?
I think I was a crazy little kid with a lot of energy. So take me to gym, let me run around like crazy. And I loved it. I think I tried dance, and I was just way too crazy. I want to run around. I don't want to sit there and just twirl around. I wanted to run and jump and swing.
You had to burn off like a ton of energy, right?
Yeah. I'm sure that helped me go to sleep earlier at night for my mom.
Yeah, I mean, neither of us have kids, but I feel like if you had them, that's probably the best way to ensure they're tired at night, right?
For real, yeah. So that's how I got started in gymnastics.
Okay, so you were doing that till you were 23, right?
Yeah.
Where'd you go to college for gymnastics?
I went to the University of Oklahoma.
University of Oklahoma.
Boomer Sooner.
What was that like?
Oh, being a college athlete was pretty darn cool.
Yeah, why?
Yeah. Well, I went away to school, so I'm from Florida. I am an only child, so I went away to somewhere super scary. I don't know anybody there besides the fact that I know I have a gymnastics team, but I don't know anybody on the team. I might have known one girl from competing years ago, but mostly. So going in and just kind of having like a family or an established group of core friends before I'm even going there, first of all, was awesome. I mean, I particularly am a shy person at first. Then when I get to know you, I can open up and be more silly or goofy or fun, but at first it's really hard for me. It scares me. I'm intimidated, and kind of went into a setting where we all had a common belief, a common goal together, and they got to become my family over like the years I was there. So doing gymnastics there was awesome, but having that community and those girls that I'm still friends with now is probably like one of the coolest things.
Yeah, because I mean, you recently went back, right?
Well, we went to Texas, a whole bunch of us, to watch like the NCAAs. Yeah, that was awesome.
That was cool.
A whole bunch of old teammates and roommates. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I was sending you videos on Instagram like, what is she doing? What's happening? I don't understand anything that's going on.
Yeah, that was, it was very cool to come back. And it's so reminiscent of being with them and living with them and training with them. Plus, just being a college athlete is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you get lots of perks. Academic-wise, you get all the help you need. So you're in a class, you're struggling, you just go to somebody, and there's somebody there that can help you, or they send you to a tutor, or you get to go to any sporting event that you want to with your friends and your other teammates. And getting to go all different sporting events, and just, it was pretty darn cool.
I mean, especially at a bigger school like that, right?
Yeah.
There was pretty cool sporting events to go to, you know?
Yeah, it was cool. And traveling with them and competing with them, getting to go all around the U.S., you know, taking flights, getting cool shirts and shoes.
Yeah, getting cool swag.
Yeah, and just competing is awesome too. So.
All right. Well, I know that the videos that you very rarely put up are pretty cool to watch. So, so you started at another like CrossFit style gym before ours, right?
Yeah.
You eventually found your way to us. What made you want to get into like CrossFit or functional style fitness? So you're post gymnastics. What?
Yeah. I think I started seeing stuff probably online or social media about like what CrossFit was, and a lot of things I saw were just gymnastics related conditioning. And so those were things that are very instinctual for me. That's what I know from a young age. So it always kind of enticed me to do it. I always wanted to get into it, and that was like the reason I wanted to. I was just, like I said, I was too scared to start something, and so it took me a long time until I would get a friend to come with me or something to get into it. So that's how I like started getting into CrossFit. And then I think that's one of the things that I love about it is very reminiscent to me. It feels like the old days. It feels like I'm working out and I really enjoy it, but I'm doing these muscle memory things that I know how to do. I also have like a community of people that it's fun to encourage and them to encourage me. And then I've kind of grown to love the other parts of it. So like I love the gymnastics part of it, and I'm kind of growing to love all like the Olympic weightlifting aspects and the conditioning aspects, things that were a little different than gymnastics.
So this is something we've talked about, not on the show, but I know you said that you didn't really enjoy going to like normal style gyms, right?
It was just hard for me. It was hard to get like into a routine and then like doing it by myself. That's hard for me. And then staying accountable to that.
Well, and you could have found a pull-up bar somewhere else, right? Like as a gymnast, you can walk on your hands anywhere. What about this style of fitness got you to like say, okay, I want to keep doing this. I want to make this part of my day-to-day. Because you're pretty much like an everyday or an every realistic day that's doable, worker outer, right? This is a part of your life now.
Yeah, for sure. I think part of it's the accountability, having not just like a coach or somebody saying, why didn't you come yesterday, but also like your friends. And it's a set program for me that I'm not having to come in and like make a program for myself and have to think, am I doing this body part today? And then how much cardio am I going to do? That was just really hard for me. And I know I probably could have found a plan online and probably could have stuck with it, but it just wasn't as enjoyable. It's not as enjoyable to sit on the elliptical and watch TV. As much as that works for some people, it was just not what kept me going.
I feel the same way, right? Like even this far in, I don't want to come in and make up my workouts every day.
Yeah.
I love the idea that I get to walk in, it's set up for me. The stuff I need is there. The workout I'm going to do is there. The amount of time I'm going to spend on it is there. And I get to focus on just like going really hard and having fun with my friends.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was in Iraq, we were trying to figure out like how to work out, with our limited equipment. And people would mail us Men's Health magazines, and we'd like look at the workout routines in Men's Health and be like, why are we doing this? And you try to modify it with like your ammo cans or your cinder blocks you have, but because we didn't know enough about it, we didn't actually know what we were modifying for, So we weren't like preserving the stimulus and what we were trying to do.
Right.
And I remember that always frustrated the hell out of me. And then when I came back to America and tried to work out in gyms, I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what, when you talk about those kind of like gymnastic style conditioning things, right? Like what is that for you? Because to people who work out like us, that's like the highest level crazy movement there are, right?
Yeah.
But for you, they're a little more normalized.
Well, yeah, that's like basic. A lot of these things are from when I'm a little kid. It's what you're doing almost every day. I think gymnastics culture is changing now, but back then it was very punishment based. So, if got in trouble. You know, I had to go climb the rope however many times. And so I don't love climbing the rope now. I just think it's a little bit of reminiscing that things that are bad. But there was also, if I'm really reflecting on it, those were the basics and the fundamentals that helped me do all the skills I could do in gymnastics. I just didn't see it back then. It always felt like a punishment, even though it wasn't. It was to learn core strength or stability or holding a body position in a way to keep you safe or air awareness so that when you do fall, you know how to fall, not hurt yourself. And so that's kind of where it comes from.
Air awareness sounds like a way to justify pushing you off a beam or something.
No. It's like flipping in the air and just making sure you don't land on your head, you land on your back.
Yeah. And in airborne school in the Army, there's a week called Ground Week, right? It's split up into 3 weeks. I hope I'm allowed to say this on whatever, too late. It's a week called Ground Week where for multiple days you just fall on the ground from different heights.
Okay.
And what you're doing is you're just learning how to fall.
Yeah.
So you don't break both your legs when you fall out of a plane.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it gets pretty high up. And I know I've got some friends who then became, like, airborne instructors. They don't have to do as much as they do. They're just like, we got 2 more hours to kill. You're like, the entire right side of my body is so bruised.
Oh, well, ours isn't that bad, but...
Well, I know that, like, this blew my mind when I found out, right? Because, like, a muscle up.
Yeah.
You know, in CrossFit or... you know, greater functional fitness style stuff is like it's like the top, you know, like people are fighting to get that for years and years and years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't remember if it was you or Rachel or one of the other girls who are gymnasts at our gym that explained to me, like, I've been doing that since I was 4.
Right.
Like, that's craziness to me.
I mean, it is a warm-up for your event. So if we're going to bars, it's like 3 sets of 5 glide kips, which is what we call muscle up, basically. And that was literally the first thing you did. You get on the bar, you do 5 glide kips, you jump down, the next girl goes, and you're warming up your shoulders, you're warming up your core, you're warming up all those to actually start the workout. Yeah,
that's crazy. Because think about it, right? Like, you've been in one of these gyms for a long time now. How long do people fight to do that, you know?
Yeah, I do.
And then Charlie, one of our friends, Charlie, he sent me a video one time of his daughter is doing it.
Yeah.
I was like, they're like 7 years old.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Yeah, I was so unaware that was so basic outside of here because like muscle ups are my thing. I really like doing those. And I feel like that's so cool. And then I see that and I'm like, all right, maybe I should have started this 30 years earlier.
Well, yes, it's all muscle memory. Also, why nobody should compare themselves with anybody else.
Right. Okay, so you have a really interesting job outside of the gym.
I do.
Right? I'm going to try not to stumble over saying this, although fair warning, I probably will. You are a nurse anesthetist.
Pretty darn good.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Here in Southwest Florida, right? What is that? What do you do?
I provide anesthesia for people every single day.
Yeah.
So I go and visit you before you go back to the operating room. I interview you. Ask you your medical history, find out what procedure you're having, taking you back, and I put you under anesthesia. And I keep you safe while the surgery's going on, wake you up, take you to the recovery room.
And then you were a registered nurse before that?
Yeah.
Or is that the same thing? Are you still that? Is that how that works?
So I'm a certified registered nurse anesthetist.
Okay.
So I had to become a registered nurse first. So I did that for about 5 years before I went back to CRNA school. And CRNA school is about 2.5 years. It's a little longer now. It just became from a master's degree to a doctorate degree, so it'll be closer to 4 years for those people in school now. But yeah, you have to be a nurse for so long. You have to have critical care experience for at least a year, and then you can apply to be a nurse anesthetist.
Okay, and what is a general like work schedule for that?
It can be really whatever you want it to be. There's lots of different opportunities.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask about this, because I think you have a really interesting like life schedule.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the fact that you're able to do that is impressive. So how do you talk to me about it?
So for me, I'm pretty much working full time. I take a call position, meaning that, I take overnight shifts for a certain amount of time in my schedule. So for me, I work like an 8, a 10, a 12, and a 24, and then like a overtime day. But for this job, you could do it in all different ways. There's options to be basically like a 1099, and you're kind of setting your own hours. So if you have a lot of lifestyle commitments, children, you can do 8 to 2 somewhere, or you can work at a surgery center that doesn't work, overnight. Surgery centers only open for a certain part of the day. obviously those places aren't open for holidays either, so that lifestyle is way different. And so it kind of can fit whatever you want. If you want to work more hours, the opportunity is there. And if you have more of a lifestyle that you need to be home for, that's an option too.
Well, like yours, and it's okay if you don't want to say the specifics on it, but I know that you're kind of all over the map, right?
Yeah.
And I find that really interesting, right? Because I think a really common, let's say, hurdle that people have to kind of getting fit and living healthier lifestyles is they'll say that I'm too busy, or I work too much, or I whatever too much.
Mm-hmm.
How do you manage that? Because you're all over the map.
Yeah, that was hard at first, especially. So particularly if we're going to talk about this gym, we have like a good amount of classes that we have available to us to go to, which isn't the same at all gyms. Other gyms I've been at, it was a lot harder. So to me, I enjoy coming in, so I kind of make it a priority. And I want to come here even on days that I am feeling kind of down. I don't know. Once I leave, I'm feeling happy that I came. So I guess it's just a mindset more than anything else. Like, I do work all those hours, but I can make it to almost, 3 or 4 days a week. I'm not coming 7 days a week.
Yeah.
To be realistic, but I can make it enough that I feel consistent and I feel happy.
Yeah, and I think what you hit on right there is that you kind of make it a priority.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I try to tell people all the time is like the best workout plan is the one that works, the one that you go to, the one you're willing to go to. And the key to that is it being fun. And I'm the same way as you. If I'm having like a bad day, I'm like, I want to go get my workout in. I want to go hang out with people in a class. I want to have Tiffany talk shit to me from the other side of the room as we're doing muscle ups. I want that. And I always feel better afterwards.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, today's a good example. Like, I was not looking forward to today's workout. I did not look at the sugar wad and be like, oh, I can't wait to do that, And I was kind of stressed out from some stuff earlier in the week, and I got my butt up and I went to a morning class today, and my day has been so much better afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I still feel that way all the time, and hopefully you do too,
I really do.
Yeah. It's weird how it has like that amazing kind of like popping the bubble feeling, you release the stress immediately.
I feel that too. And it doesn't even really matter what class I go to. Like, it's just a good atmosphere and everybody's kind of pumps you up.
Yeah, that's another thing I think is interesting about you, right? Is generally we'll have like, early morning people, mid-morning people, 4 o'clockers, 6:30 or stuff like that, right? But you're kind of in like every class.
Yeah, except for 5 a.m.
Yeah, I don't understand why we still have that class.
They
I don't know.
won't let me in. The Breakfast Club has that locked up.
That's the time I go to bed, not the time I go to the gym. Okay, so this is a little weird. All right, this is weird. I'm going to ask you about it, though. You have more love for Christmas and Christmas-style stuff than anyone I've ever met, right?
I do.
What is that about?
Well, my birthday is December 23rd.
Right.
So I don't really know if that has anything to do with it at all.
I thought you were going to be like, my birthday is June 15th.
I feel like if your birthday's really close to Christmas, you either love or hate Christmas. Because some people they feel like they get gypped or whatever. I don't know. I love it. It was a big deal in my family. My parents made a big deal about it. My mom was really big into decorating when I was a kid and just always made it super special for me. I think I said it earlier, I'm an only child, so I think she was always trying to make it super special. And so I just love everything about it. Like, I love the smell, and I love I know some of the stuff is cheesy and kind of, what's the word? Like,
hokey?
No. Commercial.
Oh, there we go.
But I love the decorations and the smell and just the way it makes me feel and how it's just like a happy time. And I love that feeling. And I love being with my family and just celebrating. Like, the presents don't really mean anything to me. I care more about, hanging out with the people that I love at that time of the year. And the whole season, not just like on Christmas Day. Like, I want to go do fun stuff all through the season. I just love it.
Yeah, it's mid-March, and I think you're still celebrating it. So
I should have wore a Christmas shirt.
Yeah, guys, if you're listening and not watching, she's literally lighting up. It's the biggest grin as we're talking about Christmas.
I love Christmas.
That's so awesome. What did you do? You did something with a tree recently, right? With your old tree?
I made a Christmas gnome.
A Christmas gnome?
Yes.
All right, what is a Christmas gnome?
It's basically a craft project out of a real Christmas tree. I took all the branches, made it into a gnome, and it's still hanging out on my front door. And is now becoming an every season gnome.
I love it. I love it.
It just gets a new hat.
I love it.
So we got a St. Patty's Day gnome right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we'll post a link to the St. Patty's Day gnome.
Yes. It's still looking good. It's hanging out.
Okay, so you and I competed together on a grid team a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
If people don't know what grid is, it's like a team competitive sport with like some elements of CrossFit, some elements of gymnastics, some elements of like track and field, and that was a lot of fun, right? And then you also competed in a local event we did with our friends at Bloodline CrossFit here, right?
Yeah.
What was that like? What was competing in grid for you?
Grid was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my first ever CrossFit competition, was the first grid with you.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. That's different than any competition I've done since then, because I've done quite a few. But that one was 3 guys, 3 girls.
Yep.
Right? And that was awesome because you only had to do what you were good at in that competition. And it was just so much fun. We were each doing like our specialty and encouraging each other, and the other team is right behind you competing. Same thing here on the grid here. I mean, obviously it was a lot of fun because it was in our home gym. And,
Yeah.
so that was super cool, and then it kind of made me love competing. But you were right. It does hold a special place, like competing in grid compared to any other competition, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, CrossFit comps are fun, but man, I can do burpees on my own at home. You know, like getting to do stuff I'm good at, getting to fly around doing like muscle ups or double or triple touches or snatches, and not ever having to worry about doing thrusters or burpees.
Right, someone else that loves to do those.
Yeah, that's so much fun. I remember we talked leading up to it, and you were like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know." And
I know, I didn't.
I worked really, really, really hard to convince you. And I remember afterwards, you said it like unlocked your like competitive edge again, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because since then you've done like, I don't know, 15 competitions.
A lot. Yeah.
What have those been like? Have those been fun?
Those have been so much fun.
Yeah.
I think I've only done one individual comp. Probably just Masters.
Was that the Masters comp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's okay, but it's so much fun doing it with somebody else.
I agree,
Because you're pushing yourself, not just for you, you're pushing yourself for them. Similar to gymnastics is an individual sport. Like, especially in club gymnastics before I went to college, like there are some awards for teams, but the main accolades is for the individual. Like me as an individual, I do good. I go to regionals. I go to nationals. You don't go as a team. You get those individuals and they make up that team that will be your regional or national team. But to me, it was so much fun going with my team and encouraging my teammates. And that's kind of how it feels again, coming into like a CrossFit competition with, one of my friends here or you. And so it's just, super awesome. I mean, I love competing. I remember being back in gymnastics, coming out on the field or the arena, and it's so quiet and nobody's there yet, and just kind of seeing it and then getting those nervous energy butterflies and all that's kind of the same here. Like, I'm nervous before it starts, but it's like this good, fun nervousness.
Like you're amped up, right? Excited.
Amped up, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think the local comps we do are all a lot of fun.
They are.
I don't know when else we'd get to put ourselves through that much discomfort, but like enjoy it,
Right.
And okay, so you hit on something that I think is really important. I don't want to miss on that, right? So I'm the coach, for the Sharks, the South Florida Sharks, our grid team, right? And one of the things I've learned in the now 5 years of being a coach of that, right, is this one I didn't expect, is that grid is so like team heavy, right? So there's a lot of like sacrifice on the team, kind of putting other people in front of you or helping others, propping others up. And one of the things, I'm doing a bad job of explaining this, one of the things that I didn't expect was how hard it was going to be for a lot of individual sport athletes to adapt to that, right? So like gymnastics, like you said, is a very individual sport, individual athlete sport. CrossFit, people who kind of start in CrossFit, very individual heavy, we've even had like skiers on the team, right? A lot of times they have a really hard time understanding that like what's good for the team is good for me, because I don't believe it's on purpose, but they've been trained for so long to think what's good for me is good for the team.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
Right.
Why do you have that? Because you're not that way at all. You're not in any way like that.
Yeah. I don't have a good answer, but I've been like that for a long time. I can specifically remember being a little kid and somebody saying something about that girl got an extra turn or something that made it where putting that person above me. And I don't know. It's just not inside me. I want to do good and I want to win. Like, I'm competitive and I enjoy that. I just want to win because I worked really hard and I did really good. I don't necessarily want to beat you. I just want to be good. And I want you to do really good too. I don't want to beat you because you fell or you messed up. I want you to do really good. I want to do really good and I want to have fun and I want to encourage you and I hope you want to encourage me, and may the best person win. And that just, I don't know. That's just fun for me that way.
I think that is such a powerful mindset, right? Like, because you kind of control your own outcome there.
Right.
If all I care about is beating you, like, there's stuff there that's out of my control.
Well, of course.
I can't do anything about how you do. I can only control how I do, right? And if all of my happiness is built off of did I beat you,
right,
I'm setting myself up for failure. And I think that's so powerful that you've adopted that mindset.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. I remember when we were still a relatively new gym, we did a big competition called Thunderdome, and everybody was standing out there before the first workout, and especially like in the RX guy division, lots of like flexing and like looking down and hard nostril snorting, and I'm walking up and I'm going, "Good luck, guys!" Fist bumping everyone, and it was really funny to see half the people like, "Hey, yeah," and the other half just like pretended they didn't see me. Yeah. I'm with you, man. I feel the same way. I'd like to win things, but I'd also really like to have a good time, and you have a really good time.
Right.
Yeah. I wish I could help like just spread that more, because I think people would really enjoy what they do more often if they could think like that.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so that's really cool because I've worked with a lot of gymnasts now, and I would say that whether you realize this or not, that is not normal across the board. There's a whole lot of like, I need to win. I'm not really worried about you, and it's really cool that you've grown past that. Well, so that's actually going to hit up on the next thing, right? Like, I didn't really warn you about how I was going to ask this, so you can see she's getting nervous. I've never told you this in real life, but I've thought it hundreds of times. And I've said multiple times, I'm going to grab Tiffany next time I see her at the gym and tell her this, right? But I haven't. I was in the infantry, right? In the Army infantry. That's all dudes. No women, right? None. Like none ever, right? And one of the things that was a really hard thing for me to adapt to when we started the gym was, this is going to sound dumb. Hopefully it doesn't sound chauvinist. Like, it was hard for me to adapt to working with women, right? Okay. To being around women and like saying good job in a way that you might appreciate, whereas one of my grunt dudes, I would say it a very different way,
Right.
And I've seen a lot of people kind of like come and go through this gym and others in their like female support of other women, and I've never met anyone who like lives that as truly as you do.
Oh.
Right? Seriously. I really didn't warn you I was going to say that. Like,
no.
I say it all the time, right? Lots of things I've seen in the gym is women supporting other women until it doesn't benefit them.
Yeah.
And I like you live that so fully, right? I've seen you run out into the middle of a workout to high five somebody after you've dropped your barbell because you failed, and they lifted up 10 pounds. And like that like warms my heart up so much every time I see it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for noticing that.
It's
not something I think about. I really do just feel that way.
Well, I believe you, right? I believe you because I think, when you try to pretend to be someone or be a thing, it eventually kind of shows you're not,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I've always thought that was so cool, and I wish I had maybe done a better job of presenting what I was going to say there. But man, I see that across the gym, and I'm just like, yes.
Well, thank you. That's very, very kind.
When you were on your team in Oklahoma, right? Did you guys have that kind of vibe?
Yeah.
You think maybe that like has something to do with that?
Yeah, we were a big team.
Yeah.
Even though we're a bunch of individuals, we were in it So, okay, I told you in club gymnastics, it was not team-oriented. College is completely different. It is team-oriented. Our team does good. We go to nationals. Not one person goes to nationals.
Cool.
Technically, one person could go to nationals, but that's not the goal of the competition. So, yes. I think it helped that I already felt that way before I went to college, but then going to college was everybody was on that same aspect of encouraging each other and, waking each other up for morning workouts, making sure that we're there early, that, all the things that we have to do together as a team work together. So, yeah, definitely. That's
cool. Yeah, that's super, super cool. Okay. Any other stories you want to bring up? Anything else? I was doing some like Facebook research and I saw the pictures of you and Carrie dressed up as the ladies from the 80s for one of our competitions.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Plus dressing up was fun.
What did you guys dress up as?
Oh, we dressed up as ladies from the 80s. We had leotards and leggings and I want to say she called them JoJo bows, big bows in her hair from her daughter.
I think
we had big poofy hair.
One of you had an MTV leotard.
Yes,
I think
MTV
the other one was Kodak.
Kodak. Or Polaroid.
Yeah.
One or the other.
That was so good.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
My favorite part of that was that I don't know, I dress up for a lot of shit. And a lot of the people here at the gym do, right? It's not weird to see people at Shark Bite dressed in just weird.
We didn't want to walk in without each other. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Nobody else in this event dressed up.
No, they didn't.
You didn't tell anybody else, or at least not me, you guys were doing this. And you guys came in and almost any other time we've done an event, it wouldn't have been out of the ordinary. But you were the only two people out of 150.
Well, I think I've come to every reindeer's game dressed up.
Yeah. At reindeer games, that's really normal, right? Everybody comes wearing some stupid Santa type thing,
Yeah.
That's so great.
And we worked out in that the whole time.
You did?
We had leg warmers.
Yeah, I don't think you could have changed anything. You were locked in. That was a full day outfit.
We were.
Oh man, that was so much fun. Okay. So you've been doing this 4 years now, right?
Yeah.
And you had a reason for why you didn't feel comfortable going other places, right? And you now know why you like this place. If you were talking to somebody who was scared to start working out, and not necessarily Shark Bite, but just scared to start moving forward in a more healthy lifestyle, what would you tell them? How would you motivate them to do it?
That's a tough one. It took me a long time to come here, just because it's scary to start something new. And to be honest, in a lot of things in my life, I find that starting it is really scary. And then once I push myself past it, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. And even though that happens repeatedly, it's still scary to push through that first step. And so that first step of just coming here or just starting any routine is the hardest. Mm-hmm. Or even asking for help. Those are by far the hardest. And then once you do it, it is not nearly as bad. And then the outcome has been amazing. So I guess just take that first step.
Cool. I like that. Take that first step. Anything else you want to talk about?
Not that I can think of.
Cool. Tiff, this has been great.
This has been fun.
Yeah. I told you this is going to be fun.
It wasn't as bad.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Tiff.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us today on the Shark Bite Show. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Facebook or Instagram at Shark Bite Fitness and Nutrition or on our website at sharkbitefitness.com. If you'd like to find out more about our guests, their information will be in the show notes. If you'd like to talk to us about getting more fit, feel free to schedule a free no-sweat intro at one of our locations in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, or Naples, Florida.